Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. We're in the heart of Western Sydney for a battle between two Western Sydney teams. As tonight, we'll see who out of Blacktown City and SD Raiders qualifies for the main draw of the Australia Cup, the round of 32. And these two teams potentially one game away from hosting A-League opposition or potentially getting a nice interstate trip to break up the routine of their season. It's a really exciting time here in Seven Hills, and we're about to go live. Eric Subihano here, high up in the scaffold here at Landon Stadium. It's Blacktown City, 5th in NPL, having another strong season under their longtime coach, Mark Crittenden. But this is a tough test against the leaders of the second tier League One men's, SD Raiders, who have had an excellent season and have already knocked off two NPL teams to get to this point. So this should be a great game here at this historic old venue in Seven Hills. We see the two captains, Travis Major for Blacktown and James Letter for SD Raiders, performing the pre-match formalities, but we might actually go through the two cup runs for these two teams before we get underway. Because for Blacktown, they got here with wins over a UNSW from League One men's, then against Gaimea United from Sutherland Premier League, and then in the last round, a successful away trip defeating Wollongong Olympic from the Illawarra Premier League. While for SD Raiders, they played a game more, wins over Parkley from the Blacktown Association, Sydney CBD from Eastern Suburbs, and then, as I mentioned, those two, shall we say, cup sets against top-tier opposition, defeating Wollongong Wolves in the 5th round, and then defeating high-flying Rockdale from NPL on penalties at their home of Ernie Smith in round 6. That's how SD Raiders set up this clash, and it's a change kit for the visitors, led by their coach Gordon Boya. They are in their red jerseys with the white shorts, while for Blacktown it is their famous kit of it's the all-black jerseys, black shorts and black socks. A brief shout out to the match officials. So Jake Rose has the whistle. There it is. Away we go. Other assistants. Aaron Block is the assistant on the broadcast side. Hayden Kay is the assistant on the grandstand side. And there it is. Away we go. So there'll be Letter flipping it to a teammate before we get back underway. And as for SD Raiders, there's a brief chat with longtime League One men's reporter Justin Smith. By the way, a reporter a lot better than his predecessor, if I do say so myself, but Justin Smith highlighting that when SD Raiders do get their attacking game in full flow, there is plenty of quick passing. The interchange between players is very nice to watch. That'll be what Goran Lubai is hoping his players will do this evening. There's the ball past Norkinese. It's going to be Riley Cox-Barlow. Cox-Barlow back to, I think that's Johan Marcic, and Grant Lynch to clear the ball before there's a further clearance towards halfway. Jack O'Brien can't reach it. And there it is, work back to Letter and across to the other side. And both of these teams, in fact, as I look at their recent records, it's a big chance to regain some form there. And neither Mark Crittenden nor Goran Boboya would be happy with a recent form. They both lost their last 2 league games. For Blacktown, that was against Marconi and against Spirit. While for SD Raiders, they fell recently to defeats against Bankstown City and Hakoa. But as they say, the cup is a different beast. And 90 minutes away from the big stage for both these teams, as cross is slammed into a defender and it rolls just over on the near touch line. But you see SD Raiders, they don't want to hang around. They've got here, and by here I mean both the final round of Australia Cup qualifiers for Football New South Wales clubs, and also their league leading position in League One men's. They got here playing fast-paced football, so why stop now? Raiders. Teams battle on the far side of the field. And the ball, Chianese. No, Chianese is offside. This is the final Australia Cup Round 7 qualifier in the Football New South Wales territory. Those other results. It was Northern Tigers, fellow League One men's side, fellow to SD Raiders at least, making history by earning their first qualification for the Australia Cup Round of 32. They defeated Hills United. SD Raiders looking to follow in their footsteps. The other results, it was RPL Leichhardt defeating Marconi Stallions and Sydney United 58 defeating Granville Rage. This is a strong run. There's Marcic, and then it's going to be Cox Barlow putting the pressure on for Caden Henderson. He clears, and that'll go out and touch right in front of us. Now, that is a better than decent long throw from Cooper Hannigan. And then Hannigan with the intercept. Hannigan looking for an option. It's Blacktown who win it back. Jack O'Brien looking for Choi. And it's McGrath. Lachlan McGrath playing it to Letta. Here's Letta again. Now McGrath. Over the top, Marcic. I think he gave himself up. He knew he was offside. I think that's Kresnar. The longer pass, couldn't find a teammate. Now, we have a tumble and free kick. I think Matthew Lee not exactly pleased by the attention shown by Adam Berry there. Now, Cox Barlow stays onside and the ball couldn't find a teammate in the middle. Now, Maxim Yesh. Now it's Hannigan for SD Raiders. Letta well into Blacktown territory. Raiders trying the left side. And then it's Berry who's strong and near his own penalty area. Now Grant Lynch to Choi. Now they might work the space for Kresnar. And Choi, cool as always. And Lynch will go back to Henderson. SD Raiders standing off the Blacktown keeper. Kresnar again. And now Yesh takes a tumble off the ball. No decision. And the SD Raiders. It's pretty easy for Figuera. Absolutely no pressure. And of course it is important to flag. There will be extra time if the score's a level after the 90, so perhaps it might be important to conserve a little bit of energy in these early exchanges. Although at least the searing hot conditions of the early rounds of the season are well behind us, so we should see a fast-paced game of football. Now Lee. Back to McGrath. And McGrath. It's too long for any of his teammates. The second ball makes a touch off Keanu Moore's forehead. Lee will settle it right in the center circle. Hannigan couldn't find Cox Barlow. Lynch got there first. Now Marcic convinced that he'd won the throw. And flag goes the other way. McGrath goes back to Figueroa. Raiders try the left side. And a hop. Just evading a teammate. Now, almost broke for Choi in the edge of the Raiders box. It's Marcic prodding it away. Chianese holds it up. Then looks for Cox Barlow, shown plenty of pace and is not intercepted by Blacktown. So Cox Barlow outnumbered in that corner of the field, but the support is coming to the byline. Cuts it back. Charlie Ragg. And Ragg, well, Chianese made the late time run, having done good work as a target in the initial phase to release. Cox Barlow, the ball not going his way before there's a clearance from Nick O'Brien. Sabatu. It was, and unfortunately time stumbled, but he's done well to keep possession. Quickly goes back to Letta, and then further back. Little win for Blacktown. As they were a step up and press the goalkeeper Figueroa. Marcic, the flick on aimed towards Hannigan, who does win it. Cox Barlow. Hannigan running in beyond. Aimed more centrally, it's going to be beyond Noah Chianese. The scraps picked up by SD Raiders. And into the box possibly before Nick O'Brien clears. That was Braden McPherson trying to find a way through for the visitors. So it's back to Jonathan Sabatu. Troy presses McGrath. Hannigan, decent ball. Better than decent possibly with the outside of the boot. Again, Cox Barlow is the target. Across the box. And now Chianese scores! It's a wonderful left-footed strike. And Noah Chianese has given SD Raiders the lead. 11 minutes played here. And could we see another cup set? Here's Riley Cox Barlow, who's been threatening Blacktown ever since the opening whistle. It was his ball that wasn't cleared. And Noah Chianese with a true left-footed strike. Caden Henderson had no chance. It is Blacktown 0, SD Raiders 1. And we've got a decent travelling support. We'll do SD Raiders this evening. And it's the perfect start. And Goran Luboya and the SD Raiders coaching staff will be delighted, as that was a well-constructed goal. Riley Cox Barlow, whenever I've seen him play in League One men's, his pace has caused trouble for fellow League One men's teams. It has shown to be the case for NPL opposition, because his movement was pivotal to the creation of that opening goal. Now Blacktown have to respond, but it's going to be Chianese again towards Cox Barlow. Good use of the body from Lynch, and Henderson picks it up. Choi. The touch from Keanu Moore, and Moore was aiming it back for Choi, but instead it's Adam Berry with a nice switch out to the right. Berry continues his run, gets the ball from Major. Now, Keanu Moore. Blacktown happy to keep possession, knowing that patience is the key. They are behind, but there's a lot of football still to be played this evening. Let's move left to Kresnar. He goes past Marcic. Now Lynch to Nick O'Brien. Apologies, that's Ben Berry. My apologies. Lynch. Now Kresnar. SD Raiders staying deep and compact. A lot of Blacktown passes, but nothing really to make SD Raiders think about what's in behind them, but that could change. Darting run from Choi. He's into the box. Danny Choi, and across the face of goal. It's going to be Cooper Hannigan, at least running it out of the box. Maxim Liege uses his body and wins the free kick, gets the decision. Gets the decision there from the referee, Jake Rose. So, set piece for the hosts. Aimed at the far post end. Couple of touches off the underside of the bar. No decision. Blacktown convinced they found an equaliser, but we go on with Cooper Hannigan towards halfway in the diagonal. SD Raiders, there's a little bit of space here. It's a long-range shot. What a save from Caden Henderson. Tested by Charlie Ragg. So we go from Blacktown thinking they had scored. It's going to be an SD Raiders corner at the other end. And after all that action, possibly a little bit surprising as Jack O'Brien goes into the referee's notebook. Possibly a little bit surprising that this will be the first corner of the game. And I think there's kids over there in the far corner. If my hearing is correct, I believe they're chanting for SD Raiders. And here's the in-swinger. Letta was close to that. Chianese. Now, second cross. Decent in-swinger and safe hands from Henderson. Henderson, quick throw. There's a little bit of room for Keanu Moore. Moore. Shot blocked by Sabatu. Now Marcic. And should have numbers this part of the field. Hannigan has got the eyes up. Of all people making a run down the right wing. Noam is a centre back. But he's put enough pressure on Caden Henderson for there to be a safety first clearance. So 17th minute here at Landon Stadium. If you're a longer time fan of football in this part of the world, you may know this venue by quite a few different names. My favorite, of course, is its original name, Gabby Stadium, but whatever you call this venue, the most important thing is that it is SD Raiders from the second tier, League One men's, currently leading Blacktown by a goal to nil. A goal in about the 11th minute, scored by Noah Chianese. Neat 1-2, and then Yesh delivers to the far post. There's Major, heading it back into the middle. It might break for Choi, but it does not break for any Blacktown player. Choi takes a tumble, and will go on with Sabatu. Sabatu holds it to Matthew Lee. And back to Figuera, and Figuera just about gets it to Hannigan. Hannigan can't find Lynch. Oh, sorry, he does find Lynch, but that's not what he was trying to do. Because it's Moore. Now, Ben Berry for Blacktown. Good header from Hannigan. Now Matthew Lee to Jonathan Sabatu. It's intercepted. So Adam Berry. SD Raiders, of course, the privilege of having the lead. They can sit a little bit deeper, possibly, and force Blacktown to play, which they're trying to do with Kresnar. And a very confident shout from Michael Figuera, followed by the SD Raider shot stopper claiming the ball. Now Figuera, long high kick. Choi attempting to control it, and it's a rare miscontrol from Danny Choi. Hannigan, no one really who's a short option, so when in doubt, throw it down the line, and that is quite a long throw from Cooper Hannigan. Lee with the header, could have a bit of head tennis, which Kianese continues. And now Ben Berry before, as Braden McPherson finds the open player, Jonathan Sabatu. Good run from McPherson, left side for the Raiders. And we'll go on. McPherson, he gets right to the edge of the box. Interesting ball in there, but it is cleared by Lynch. Solid defending as always. And now Choi. Yeah, very interesting pass. Jack O'Brien's got the jump on the Raiders' defense. Looking for support. Aimed. There's Keanu Moore to the byline. He cuts it back and comes off Letta and off Figuera. It does not cross the line. The keeper's gotten there just in time. McGrath slams the ball in the Choi. Hannigan aims it towards Marcic, plays it around the corner, but Major back defending. And then Kresnar back to Henderson, under heavy pressure. Not much. Marcic doesn't get there in time. It is Matthew Lee, who he almost turned out of trouble, but the pressure's still there. And play on. As Kianese's drifted out wide, aiming for Rag. And it will be Ben Berry who does it clear that. I think there's surely a touch of SD Raiders. It's going to be a Blacktown throw right by their own corner flag. Sabatu strong in the aerial challenge. Again, it's SD Raiders with Kianese. And can he work a shooting opportunity or find a teammate? Here's Marcic. Cox Barlow wouldn't break for him. Here's Blacktown with Choi. And then Kresnar finds Choi. Choi, great changes pace, buys a little bit of room. Has he found the right ball? Here's Jack O'Brien. Has he lobbed it over the keeper? What a goal-line clearance from James Letta. It's still alive. Jack O'Brien scores from the tightest of angles. And Blacktown are level. Jack O'Brien with his 7th of the season. And it was his initial effort. Brilliant improvised lob. He was lunging, managed to lob it over the keeper. James Leder with the heroics to deny him, but Jack O'Brien chased the loose ball. He's found the angle somehow to equalize, and we could have a fascinating game here on our hands. Blacktown 1, SD Raiders 1. O'Brien, Jack O'Brien, who scored in the previous round when Blacktown travelled down to Sir Ian McLennan Oval and defeated Wollongong Olympic by 3-1. They actually came from behind that time. Actually, as it was against Wollongong Olympic, it is Jack O'Brien scoring an equaliser. Now, they can hear Mark Crittenden encouraging Maxim Yesh to press. Figuera goes long. Header from Kresnar. Now Adam Berry. Now Choi. And he secured possession. They need to move it back. Did Blacktown just to secure it. Henderson goes back to Lynch. Now, great ball from Lynch. Found the gap to Yesh. Now Choi. Adam Berry. Once again, Blacktown showing some patience. There's Keanu Moore, and then Major. Back to Nick O'Brien. And now, does it break down the right-hand side? There's the cutback. It is partially cleared. Here's Charlie Ragg deep inside his own half and under pressure from Major. The Blacktown skipper wins out and wins a corner. Recap for those who have missed the action. 1-1 between Blacktown and SD Raiders as these two teams battle for a place in the Australia Cup round of 32. It was Noah Kianese opening the scoring for the Raiders. The equaliser for Blacktown came from Jack O'Brien. Short corner. And now it's left for Adam Berry and flying save from Figuera. Another Blacktown corner coming up. And Berry, who does have such beautiful ball striking technique. You could see he really relaxed the torso. He tried to curl and place it into that top corner. And it is an excellent save from Michael Figuera. There's the signal. Delivered, keepers up, decent punch, and helped out by his teammates. Berry again picking up the scraps. This shot is off target. So while we're here, I might as well go through the two lineups out there. With the greatest respect to these talented players out there. Let's hope the action's a little bit calmer while I get these lineups relayed to you. But hold that thought as Cooper Hannigan looks to deliver, and it could be awkward for Blacktown. So here's maybe a chance for the Raiders. And I think the player runs into a cul-de-sac there. Blacktown trying to move it out with Yesh. Anyway, that Blacktown lineup. In goal for them, number 1, Caden Henderson. Back 4, that's from left to right. Number 23, Jacob Kresnar. Number 5, on the ball right now, is Grant Lynch. Number 16, Ben Berry. Number 18, Nick O'Brien. And central midfield, number 6, Adam Berry. Number 10, Maxim Yesh. Number 9, Keanu Moore, although there is a bit of fluidity, especially when Blacktown attack. For Blacktown on the right, number 7, Travis Major. On the left, number 11, Danny Choi. And up front, number 8, Jack O'Brien. The man who equalised for the home side as the foul is called against Riley Cox-Barlow. Meanwhile, for SD Raiders, at least this is how I see them lining up in goal for them. Number 1, Michael Figuera. Four at the back, from left to right. Number 22, Jonathan Sabatu. Number 8, the captain, James Letter. Number 12, Lachlan McGrath. And number 4, Cooper Hannigan. In central midfield, number 15, Matthew Lee. And number 31, Braden McPherson. On the right, number 7, Mihail Marcic. On the left, number 18, Charlie Ragg. And the 2 up top, number 19, Riley Cox-Barlow. And number 14 is the Raiders goal scorer, Kianese. Kianese, great ball to Ragg. Cox-Barlow's already over in support, but Ragg cuts inside. And he's dispossessed by his fellow number 18, Nick O'Brien, who looks for Major. Jack O'Brien providing the support. Across, Choi playing in a different part of the field. Danny Choi, pass 2. He shoots, and it's parried. How's the rebound? It's over. Oh, it's off the bar, and Travis Major fires over. Blacktown so close to taking the lead. And Danny Choi gliding past defenders. A shot that was too hot to handle. It could have been more on the rebound. He nearly scored. And Major sends it over the crossbar. Well, this is a great game we've got in progress here. ST Raiders, a wonderful start flying out of the blocks. Blacktown, as you'd expect on their home synthetic turf, have responded. And we've got at least 60 minutes more of this. And the good thing for all of you, the majority of you tuning in, I'm going to assume you're feeling warmer than I am here at the Landon Stadium scaffold, as Keanu Moore outnumbered in the end, so that will be a goal kick. Raiders move it around the back. Just as I ran through the Blacktown formation, looks like they've switched it up. Yeah, that'd be about right. There's McGrath. Works it centrally to Kianese, who's dropped a little bit deeper. McPherson. Sabatu. Now clips it in towards Cox-Barlow, and the flag is up from Aaron Block, the assistant nearest to us. So that's the end of that attack for the visitors. It's back to McGrath. We'll run it out of central defence. McGrath's in the middle for the time being as Hannigan overhits that pass. Lynch to Major, and the flick on, but wasn't the type of run that Major was expecting from a teammate. So, ball back in possession for SD Raiders. McPherson to Letter. Now Letter is switched out right. Nice first touch from Hannigan, but nothing in front of him. Two teams taking a turns to, if I may be so bold as to use a boxing analogy, trading jabs at the moment. Both teams have landed a big punch each, but this could be a shot coming in, and it's straight at Henderson. I do get the feeling that whoever is successful tonight, they'll have had to work very hard to deliver the knockout blow. Moore. Blacktown trying to work it out from the press. Kresnar plays it straight to Sabatu. I think that was Hannigan shouting, relax. And it's of course a fine balance that you've got to strike in football. You want to play quick when the opportunity presents itself, but you need to do it while maintaining it, being as relaxed as you can, which might be might sound paradoxical to some of you, but it's about sensing the opportunities as Cooper Hannigan. Too quick. And according to the ref, and possibly taking the throw not from the right position. Marchich dropping deep this time and decides to go back to Letta. Decent first touch. Now, as he looks for runners, it's off Marchich's back. He looks to keep it alive. Now onto the left foot. He shoots, but that'll be wide. Raiders win it in Blacktown territory, and Rag past Nick O'Brien. Kianese's offside. To the displeasure of those young fans on the far side of the field. Of course, it's all about the Australia Cup tonight, but it's also important to note that these Australia Cup qualifiers, they also double as kind of the earlier rounds of the Waratah Cup. This is in effect a Waratah Cup quarter-final. And the battle to decide the New South Wales knockout champion, New South Wales Cup winner. It will continue Wednesday the 11th of June. RPL Leichhardt hosting Northern Tigers at Lambert Park. That's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff here in Leichhardt, and incredibly that comes after the two women's teams for RPL and Northern Tigers. They played at Lambert Park in the Sapphire Cup quarterfinals last night, a game that RPL Leichhardt won by 4-1. This is Choi cutting inside, and wait for the support, which comes from Nick O'Brien. Delivered and drilled into Sabatu. Blacktown corner coming up. So these two teams, in addition to the winner making the Australia Cup round of 32, the winner will also have an away trip to Sydney United 58 in the Waratah Cup semi-finals. It's in dribble as again Wednesday 11th of June 7:30 p.m. kickoff, but I feel like, given of course we don't know who's going to be playing the boys from Medenza Park, I feel like that's a little bit of a placeholder thing that they put in dribble. Anyway, here's the corner. Keeper could be under pressure, but very safe hands from Figuera. Reaching it behind him, very difficult technique. He's done it well. It's going to be Letta crossing halfway. But goes backwards. Matthew Lee dropping into defence for the time being. Lee, excellent ball. Raiders attacking left side. And goal kick. Effort goes wide. Henderson. Well into SD Raiders territory. There's the header from McGrath. It's going to be up for grabs. Yej. And then McGrath. Very keenly fought. That's what you want to see in cup game as Barry. The brief run down the left-hand side. Goes back. Here's Yej. Now Lynch. The ball, Keanu Moore's in behind. Looking for the support. Choi, little dink pass. Now delivered from deeper. Major with the header. And who's going to get to that? It's Moore. Off balance as he shot. 6 minutes or so until the halftime break. Both teams shown this season capable of scoring a lot of goals. And for Blacktown, Jack O'Brien's strike that we saw. It's Blacktown's 14th in the cup. As Kresnar gets to it ahead of Marcic. And then Henderson clears. For the part of SD Raiders, I mean, yes, they did play like community football teams in the early rounds, beating Park Lee by 11 goals to nil and Sydney CBD by 3 goals to nil, but they kept scoring goals against NPL opposition when they faced them in the cup. As Nick O'Brien will retrieve this for Blacktown here, that SD Raiders defeating Wollongong Wolves by 2 goals to 1 at Valentine Sports Park in round 5, and then a famous night in the history of the club, defeating Rockdale Illingdon 5-4 on penalties at Ernie Smith Reserve after a 3-0 draw in the 120 minutes. As here's a run for McPherson. Tries to measure the pass. Doesn't work out for SD Raiders. And it goes wide. And McPherson charging through midfield. I think it was Riley Cox-Barlow. Pass was a little bit behind him, but he still managed to make it work. He could not hit the target. Lee. Now, there's Major. Finds the ball. Keanu Moore. To Choi. Will be under pressure from Sabatu, and Sabatu didn't get there first. Choi. On his right foot. A free header, and Jack O'Brien has missed. And that's, if you are of an SD Raiders persuasion, is a let-off. Jack O'Brien already on the target, already on the score sheet once tonight. And so often a goal scoring hero for Blacktown. He'd escaped the defense. He was unable to convert. Hannigan pinged for the contact on Major there. And Barry. There's a scoop pass aimed at Choi. Choi looking to beat a defender, but there's good shepherding there, and then it is Figueroa who picks up the ball. Back to the keeper. Chianese more up than forward. And Ben Berry again back to Henderson. Trying to find the outball with Kresnar. Tracked all the way by Cox Barlow. Transfer will take a little breather, but the way these two teams have played this game, this opening 44 minutes, a very high chance of one more opportunity. Depends at, just have to see at which end it will come. Rag tried to shield it before, I think it was Lee who couldn't find one of his teammates in red. Now Lynch, out to Major. He initially shaped to cut inside. He's being pressed by Hannigan. In fact, Major decides that Blacktown will start again with Henderson. Now, Blacktown try the far side and it breaks down. Now, fourth official at this stage of the Australia Cup. The qualifies within state federations. So, yes. How much time added on? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Half that's flown by. Can't imagine there'd be much more than a minute. There goes Troy, almost back in the right back spot of all people. Silky on the ball as always, and Blacktown will work to find a way out. Kresnar. Yesh. Back to Lynch. Now Lynch. There's a block by Chianese, and that hit our scaffold. Well, as long as it didn't hit our camera. And as long as our camera operator for tonight, Chester, is all okay, then it all ends well. And that's the end of the first half. There's the whistle from Jake Rose. What a brilliant first half of football we've watched here in Seven Hills. It was SD Raiders from the second tier, League One men's. Noah Chianese opening the scoring with a crisp left-footed finish in the 11th minute. And then in the 23rd minute, the equaliser for Blacktown, Jack O'Brien, squeezing the ball home from a very acute angle. Eric Subihano here with the commentary for Australia Cup Round 7 action from Landon Stadium. We will take a short break, about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half. And welcome back to our coverage of the Australia Cup qualifiers for Football New South Wales teams. And the weather has totally cooled down here on this winter evening here in Western Sydney, with the action extremely hot during the first half. A goal apiece for Blacktown City and SD Raiders. Plenty of attacking intent from both sides is what you love to see with a place in the Australia Cup round of 32 at stake. And now, after a quick break, the teams ready to resume their fight for a place on the big stage. The main draw for the Hahn Australia Cup. A chance you could play interstate opposition. You could have a sneaky little trip interstate, possibly to somewhere near the beach. I'm sure we'd all appreciate that in the winter months. Could even face an A-League side. And Blacktown City, who in their storied Australia Cup history, they've had games. I think they played Sydney FC, Western Sydney Wanderers. They've beaten Central Coast Mariners. They hosted Adelaide United here last year as well. Really, Mark Critton's team trying to once again make the national draw of the Australia Cup. As there's the challenge between Troy and Sabatu. Decision goes Blacktown's way. Reasonably confident that no team made a sub at halftime. I think it will look to be the same jersey numbers as we saw in the opening period. But I say it's good. Myself and camera operator for tonight, Chester, on the same side as the technical areas, which does make things, especially when the subs start to roll in through the game, a little bit easier. The way as Nick O'Brien, at least shaping to go direct. Indeed he does. Flick on, I think, from Major Jack O'Brien, but doesn't get the power on the header. That would trouble Michael Figueroa. Yeah, just another scan of the shirt numbers here. So Blacktown haven't made any subs there as they were to begin the game. Cox Barlow chasing this one, and it's going to run out over the byline. Yeah, does look like I'm 99.9% confident that SD Raiders haven't made any halftime subs either. Figueroa aims it towards the grandstand side of Landon Stadium. Right. Going out, and then Cooper Hannigan responds in kind. Big fling down the line, cleared by Lynch. Won by Matthew Lee, and might open up left side for the Raiders. Rag, stopped by Nick O'Brien. Now Blacktown trying to play it out of the corner, but instead it's Lee. For Moore tries to win it back. Fouled by Matthew Lee. Take the free kick fairly quickly to Blacktown. Here's Lynch and Kresnar. Adam Berry. And Nick O'Brien. Troy, followed all the way by Sabatu. Troy thought he saw the space, and a hand-up acknowledgement from Keanu Moore. recognizing it was the right idea, but the ball overhit this time. Now, breaks for Yej. And Yej, at the shout. I think that's Major, left side. Measures the ball. Jack O'Brien. And I think that's blocked. McPherson will only half clear it. Major back into the middle. In fact, Travis Major has hit the underside of the crossbar. Still with Danny Choi. And tipped over by Figuera. So, Travis Major thought he was going to cross. Instead, it was a shot. It's the second time in the game that Blacktown have hit. Actually, it's the third time in the game that Blacktown have hit the frame with a goal. And Danny Choi, with very little backlift, almost looped the ball up and over Figuera. Said it is a corner to Blacktown. Low, too low. Kianese will have a second go to clear it before the shot comes in, and it is wide. Just go short, and then it's not the ball Figuera would have wanted. Choi, Jack O'Brien. Now Major has it taken off him. He was about to pull the trigger. McGrath got there in time. Now delivered from deep. A decent knockdown before Raiders get enough bodies in the way so that Figuera can gather. Shouts from the SD Raiders bench to relax. Blacktown have been the more threatening in the, shall we say, embryonic stages of the second half. Jack O'Brien looped it over Sabatu, then bundled over by Sabatu. Again, once more, just might go through the lineups. For those of you who might have missed me when I did it earlier, that's for Blacktown. Roughly, very roughly a 4-3-3 shape. I'm certainly no tactician, but that's how I see it. With Caden Henderson in goal. The four at the back from left to right. Number 23, Jacob Kresnar. Number 5, receiving the ball right now, Grant Lynch. Number 16, Ben Berry. Number 18, Nick O'Brien. 3 in midfield. Number 6, Adam Berry. Number 9, Keanu Moore. Number 10, Maxim Yej. And in attack, we'll hold that thought because one of those attackers, Danny Choi, has found a dangerous position. Choi to Yej. Blocked on the line. Header again. Figuera saves. That's a second goal line clearance. But unlike with the way Blacktown equalised, this time Blacktown don't convert from the rebound, and suddenly space for Kianese and a very nice ball to Cox Barlow, who stumbles at the vital moment. That's unfortunate. It was looking very promising for SD Raiders, but we've all been there. Completing that run through the Blacktown formation. Yeah, in attack, number 11, Danny Choi. Number 8, Jack O'Brien. Number 7, the Blacktown captain, Travis Major. So, SD Raiders formation, roughly 4-4-2 the way I see it, although they do get plenty of midfield support from how I've seen it to support the front two when they can, as Sabatu intercepts. And then Sabatu, via Keanu Moore's left boot, gets it to Hannigan. Hannigan, direct, and good command of the penalty area from Henderson. Claims it right at the edge of this box. Anyway, that SD Raiders lineup. In goal, number 1, Michael Figuera. 4 at the back from left to right. Number 22, Jonathan Sabatu. Number 8, the skipper, James Letter. Number 12, Lachlan McGrath. Number 4, Cooper Hannigan. In midfield, central midfield, number 15, Matthew Lee. And number 31, Brady McPherson. As there's Matthew Lee looking to shepherd and does so successfully. On the left, for SD Raiders, number 18, Charlie Ragg. And on the right, number 7, Mihal Marcic. And up front, number 14, Noah Kianese. Number 19, Riley Cox Barlow. Now, this is the time of the game. 54th minute. We've got to keep one eye on the 2 technical areas, but first, keep an eye on Brady McPherson here as his teammates try to get the runs right. Cox Barlow flags up from Hayden Kay, the assistant on the grandstand side. Wouldn't have counted. Tell you what, keeping even one eye on the benches is, shall we say, a calculated risk for me, because these two teams can create. They move the ball so quickly, they can create chances out of what seems to be very little. But there's two very talented and very, very pleasing to watch teams out here this evening. Nick O'Brien. And Nick O'Brien plays it out. Now. Oh, it is a Blacktown home game. SD Raiders will be pleased with the support that has travelled up to Seven Hills tonight, as Choi steals in there. And Choi dispossessed. Now McPherson moves it right. There's some room. I think that's Hannigan. And Hannigan, has he found Marcic? Marcic strikes and scores! SD Raiders back in front. Oh, what a clean strike from Marcic. Picked out by a wonderful ball from Cooper Hannigan. Once again, the League One men's side has hit the front. 2-1 to SD Raiders. What a brilliant goal. They won the ball quickly, and Cooper Hannigan, who's been up and down that right side for the Raiders all game, he ran into space. He delivered a telling pass to Marcic, who kept his composure, slamming the ball past Caden Henderson. How about that? Blacktown 1, SD Raiders 2. Subs coming up for SD Raiders. Double sub. Well, at least it's in front of me. Charlie Ragg making way to a very productive shift. I think Braden McPherson is the other player. Of course, very difficult to fit these midweek fixtures in amongst the regular league commitments. SD Raiders are at home to MacArthur Rams on Saturday night. The 7 p.m. kickoff at their fortress, Ernie Smith Reserve. Let's see, number 6, Ryoma Takagi is on for the visitors, who now once again they have something to defend and something to try and hold on to. Sabato's been pinged for the foul on Major there. By the way, my apologies. Missed that. The other player coming on, Noah Anderson, and number 83. What a good, I would say I love the number 83. Noah Anderson, who scored once this season. Ryoma Takagi scored 4 times this season. And 2 good options for Igor and Luboya to bring off the bench. At first, the Saddenberry set piece. Aim far post header. It's up from Ben Berry and cleared. Now Blacktown try the left side, and that will be a goal kick. Now, time for Blacktown to make a sub, and Martin Fernandez will enter the fray. Keanu Moore. It's the end of the shift for him. And Fernandez looks like a straight swap cooked up by Mark Crittenden into midfield for Fernandez alongside Yej and Berry. Now Raiders win it high once again. They've got 5 forward. One of them's Hannigan. The ball to Kianese and a couple of deflections. Goal kick. Now, and right, and Major cannot flick it forward towards a teammate. Blacktown throw, and Major initially he wanted to go quickly but didn't like the options in front of him. It's broken down for Blacktown on the far side. Fernandez switching it left, and the cross. It's going to dip towards Major. Didn't get the contact he wanted. Nick O'Brien being patient. Major holding off Sabatu. Now Lynch. Kresnar in front of the grandstand. Tries to bounce it off a teammate. I think this is Adam Berry. And Nick O'Brien. Collision. Raiders throw. Some of you may be wondering who that photographer to our right is. Is Grant Lynch's dad, Steve. Common fixture at Blacktown games as confident shot from Figueroa claims it at the edge of his box, ahead of Yej. Yes. As that will be swept up by Henderson under very little pressure. Hannigan. That's great movement. There are fans in the stand who love that. Now, this could be a chance. It's a big chance for Cox Barlow. No, it's not. He's offside. He's offside. He's offside. How's that? Well, who's touching? Hannigan. There's walk the tightrope, and now the pass, and Kianese offside. Sabatu resuming that battle with Major, who does get the cross in. Fernandez. Isolated shots of a handball, and after all that, goal kick. He's got to take a chance to draw breath. So at least 25 minutes remaining. Well, it makes me happy because we've had 65 minutes of high quality football here. As Figueroa assesses exactly where he's going to aim this goal kick. Might just be a good company man. Talk about upcoming streams on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel, the same way you're watching this one. As Nick O'Brien gets round Noah Kianese. Now it's up. We're going to let it bounce. Jack O'Brien. O'Brien can't find Fernandez. And then SD Raiders throw. But yes, on Friday the 6th of June from Rockdale Illingdon Sports Centre. Just briefly divert into Canteen Watch. Excellent kebab. Excellent kebabi at the Illingdon Sports Centre. Make sure you get the Ivar when you get your kebabi rolls down there at Rockdale. But on Friday night, 7:30 p.m, Sydney FC hosting St George City. There's 4 NPL men's games you can watch on Saturday the 7th of June. As Blacktown work it back to the keeper. But yeah, 4 p.m. on Saturday from Seymour Shore. For Seymour Shore, by the way, a venue I need to go to now because they have a bar. And Matthew Lee hits the synthetic turf, but no decision given. And then it's going to be Letta getting there ahead of Troy. But yes, 4 p.m. on Saturday, Sutherland Sharks hosting Western Sydney Wanderers. Now takes a hop and is claimed by Henderson. 5 p.m. on Saturday from Poppendetta Park, Mount Druitt hosts St George FC. And then at 5:30 p.m. on Saturday, the second part of the now traditional Spirit women's and men's first grade doubleheaders at the Arctic Circle. But yes, 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. at the Arctic Circle on Saturday, Spirit host RPL Leichhardt. So, by the way, those two teams played in the Australia Cup qualifiers fairly recently as Mitch Malia comes on for Maxim Liège. And by the way, just when you can, keep an eye out for the match report of that Saturday game in the NPL men's between Spirit and RPL when that comes in on Saturday night, courtesy of thanks to the tireless work of fearless leader in the media team, the Greek god of football, New South Wales, Mark Stavroulakis. But yes, a special guest reporter for Spirit versus RPL on Saturday. Yeah, you're right. That's right. I'll be writing it. Finally, just to round out the men's streams coming up on Saturday, 7 p.m. from Wynn Stadium, Wollongong Wolves hosting Sydney Olympic. As Blacktown play it around amongst their defenders. Yeah, there's 3 NPL men's games to be shown on Sunday, all at 3 p.m. here at Landon Stadium. Blacktown hosting Central Coast Mariners, also at 3 p.m. Well, this is a massive game. Marconi hosting Rockdale Illingdon at the Palace, Marconi Stadium, and also Manly United are travelling to Edensor Park as that's a foul on Sabatu. Adam Berry is into the referee's notebook. A pretty straightforward decision that you'd think for Jake Rose. And fact, we're going to hold that thought a bit because Jonathan Sabatu is going to need some treatment. Actually, so I keep scrolling through Dribble app to talk about upcoming streams. Yes, and this may have this actually was only confirmed today, I believe, but a catch-up game from a washed-out game a couple of weeks ago, because Thursday, 12th of June, 6 p.m. at Cromer Park, Central Coast Mariners versus Manly United. One for those of you who like midweek football. Sabatu, who's had a good game on the left-hand side of that Raiders defense. Good to see him getting up to his feet, so I think the thumbs up. He'll be okay to continue. But just recapping for those of you who might have missed some of the action, of course, on YouTube, it's just as easy as clicking back onto the stream to see what you missed. But SD Raiders leading by 2-1, and it was the Raiders who opened the scoring in the 11th minute via Noah Kianese. Blacktown equalised in the 23rd minute through Jack O'Brien. And Raiders retook the lead in about the 55th minute. Mihal Marcic with a lovely strike assisted by Cooper Hannigan. So SD Raiders skipper James Letter get us back underway after that stoppage. Of course, that'll add to the time added on at the end of the regulation 90 minutes. And once again, we'll just guess how much time is added on, as that's brilliant work from Takagi. He appeared to have no room at all, but drop of the shoulder, and he's got past two defenders. Cross is deflected out for a corner kick. To the near post, and the improvisation from Noah Kianese. Perhaps not have been what was expected, but Kianese doing his best to make something of that. Now, yeah, good to see. There's nothing wrong with Sabatu. He can continue. Flick on from Major, but Letter first to it. He's going to go on a run. Sabatu, and I think Marcic was the target, but as they go back the other way, and that is going to run away from Mitch Malia. Now, Raiders, they're continuing to press. They don't want to sit deep at all. It's a game plan that's worked well for them, not just in this game, but the whole of the season. And here's Cox Barlow. Gets to Anderson. Well, but he's offside. Now, actually, we've got a League One men's. We've got a League One men's game. Oh, sorry, a League One men's team playing right here. Might as well talk about the League One men's featured game for this weekend. So our cameras are off to the Village Green in Kensington. That's one of the best ground names in the whole of our state comps. UNSW flying high in this competition, only a point behind SD Raiders in League One men's. Sabatu wins the free kick with some lovely footwork, but is he feeling a little bit sore? No, he's okay. But yes, the League One men's stream game on Saturday, 5:15 p.m. UNSW hosting Newcastle Jets. And it's going to be my good friend Justin Smith with the commentary from Kensington. So I'm doing the report for a Spirit home game a Spirit home game. Justin Smith's on League One men's commentary. It is the Football New South Wales version of Trading Places. Possibly the Football New South Wales version of Freaky Friday if Justin's got commentary and I'm doing a match report. So what, Freaky Friday? Spooky Saturday? Oh, I'll workshop that. There's Figuera. The restart, found a teammate, and then assessing the options. Here's Cox Barlow allowed to turn and shoot, but that's going to go. It's going to hit the fence. So thankfully, whoever retrieves that does not have to go to Ashley Brown Reserve. 74th minute here, and you do wonder when will Blacktown like to go to what I like to call kitchen sink mode. But for the moment, still trying to play out from the back. Lynch up against Kianese. And boom forward before a solid, well, better than solid header from McGrath. Lynch once again. To halfway. And then slams off SD Raiders into the advertising boards. And another SD Raider sub goes off to warm up. Now Sabatu under pressure, but coolly finds his captain and gets it back from Letter. Sabatu, that's nice. Takagi, two in front of him. Tries to measure the pass. Anderson flags up for offside. Now, as that will be two straight for Malia. And for Guerra, well, we're at that time of the game. We're at the game management portion of the game, I like to call it. Figuera just waiting until he's pressed by Jack O'Brien before he wants to run down as many seconds as possible. There's SD Raiders offsides. While frustrating, it does show Blacktown they're going to have to keep pushing higher and higher as they chase this game. That'll lead to opportunities for the Raiders, possibly to score a third. Marcic still going and then slammed off Marcic by the defense. Picked up by Henderson. Now, loose touch from Fernandez. That is a throw-in. Just a bit of an unconventional caller. I do check my phone constantly during the game, just so I know he's tuning in. Shout out to Dale, who, indirectly via his messages has strongly hinted that he's listening to this one. Thanks for your support, Dale. We hope that Bulls win for you on the weekend. But there's the throw-in from Sabatu. And Kianese. Fought to Anderson, and there is... So look to my right. There's a lot of SD Raiders either side of our filming position. And support driving the Raiders to another excellent performance as the cross comes in. And here's Choi. Couple of clearances needed. Anderson to chase. Lynch heading sideways. Ben Berry, but now Cox Barlow. And Cox Barlow runs into Ben Berry. Nick O'Brien finding Adam Berry. Now the cross, and that's sailing over to the big net behind the SD Raiders goal. Gordon Laboya shouting to the subs who are warming up. We may see more action off the benches soon. Yes. Yeah. In fact, yeah, this one player's taking the bib off. Yeah. I'm glad you liked it. Shout out, Dale. Yeah, my shout-outs definitely don't leave any grey areas, that's for sure. As we're back underway. And Fernandez. Oh, let's touch off him. Mr. Raiders seem to have known that. Chianese trying to win it high. Touch off Malia. Forward by O'Brien. Nick O'Brien. So McGrath, it's awkward, but he's done enough. And actually, Jack O'Brien, let's see. Yep, there's going to be a stoppage just to make sure. We've got to take head injury seriously, so might see the Blacktown physio on. I wonder, is this the moment that Gordon Duboya pulls the trigger on that double sub? So I can see number 30, who would be Oliver Velnich. So Oliver Velnich, 2 goals this season, getting ready to come on. Now, no double subs, no Chianese. His goal started it all for SD Raiders tonight. He makes way. It's the other goal scorer, Marcic, who's off. You can see Oliver Velnich going onto the field. Then, the player on the far side will, I have to say, the clock's becoming very much the enemy for Blacktown. A lot of touches at the back, but it's not where they need it. Letta gets there first. And Letta try to run it out. If that ball kept in, pretty sure that stayed in. Now, nice footwork there. Opens up for Takagi. Hannigan's making yet another run down the right-hand side. Cox Barlow to Hannigan. And Hannigan sends it into the big net behind the goal to our left. Jared McKinley is about to come on for Blacktown. And Jack O'Brien, who doesn't appear to be moving freely at this stage, he's the one who will make way for McKinley. There's the ball, and Lynch has joined the attack. Here's Lynch. Major was close to that, but closer to that was James Letta, clearing it into touch.
Inside. Here, check to your left shoulder now.
And that is not what's required for Blacktown. I apologize, I think I missed that. Number 13 who came on at the same time as Oliver Velnich. That is Thomas Santarossa, scorer of 4 goals this season. A lot of challenges there. Sabatu clears. Santarossa. Now down the line. Malia chases once again. Letta. And Letta, did he get the touch off? Malia, no he didn't. That's going to be a corner. So, everyone back as you'd expect for SD Raiders. That's Malia to deliver. You'd think it'd be an in-swinger. It is. And past everyone. Does Blacktown look to keep it alive on the far side? No, I think the new touch off SD Raiders. They'll wait for the throw. And a long throw coming up. Aimed at Lynch. Velnich doesn't clear it. Velnich getting his foot in there. Now, he blocks the cross. And Blacktown keeping it near the SD Raiders goal, but as of yet, not testing Michael Figueroa, the Raiders shot stopper. Another long throw. Good header from Hannigan. By the way, shout out to Megan. She's enjoying the chance that she can hear through our effects mic. And once again, because I can't do it by myself, I'm just the person who talks. It's good to, for the second time in 5 days? Yeah, 5 days. Be working in the heart of Western Sydney with Chester, camera operator. And the Filipino Dream Team has made it to the Australia Cup round 7, the final round of qualifiers before the national draw. Now, 86th minute here, so really every second counts now for Blacktown. McKinley trying to escape Takagi. It's more sideways than would be ideal for Blacktown, but now and Nick O'Brien to Malia. Malia delivers. Header. And then there's a block as well. I think that was from Santa Rosa. Blacktown try the left. Strong tackle from Hannigan. Now, Anderson just was behind him, couldn't reel it in. So Nick O'Brien will charge. How are his options? Great foot in there from Sabatu. Is the counter a possibility? There's 5 forward in this attack for the Raiders. One of them Sabatu. Looking for Anderson. Swept up by Lynch. With the first bit right, beat a defender, but then he's given it straight back to the Raiders. McKinley has found Sabatu. Sabatu's taken a lot of knocks in this second half. So he stayed down. Might see the Raiders physio on the field once more. Just to recap, James Leder possibly off frame, or maybe actually probably not off frame, but I think he's taken an energy gel. It's good to see Sabatu's fine to continue and does not need to leave the field. Now, how ambitious will the Raiders be from this set piece as the clock ticks past 88 minutes? Malia and Choi stay forward for any potential counterattacks. Major's pretty high up as well, but Choi actually hasn't had a lot of touches in the recent minutes. Delivered in by Santa Rosa. The header. And now Cox Barlow retrieving. Rides one challenge. They do keep it alive. Takagi dispossessed. Santa Rosa using the fresh legs. Intercept and some fancy footwork as well. Anderson, can he get round? He can. This could be a chance. He shoots across the face of goal. No one can tap it in at the far post. The score stays at 2-1. But SD Raiders prevent the ball from going out. Might be a little bit early to hold it near the corner flag. To be fair, I don't think he was trying to waste time. I think he was trying to start another attack. Raiders will settle for the throw. It's a half clearance. Major can't hold it up, but he can win a free kick. Okay. I mean, not for the first time. I'll be an old man while doing commentary, so for the younger ones out there, because you know how there's no fourth official, and therefore we won't know how much time is added on. Yeah, this is what it used to be like all the time. People who remember anything before the 1998 Men's World Cup will know. You're just going to have to guess how much time is going to be added on. Now, played in over Fernandez. Malia. Volley's wide. And we're in stoppage time now. And it's really up to Jake Rose and nobody else. Perhaps, although SD Raiders do love to play out from the back, Vergara can be forgiven for waving everyone up so he can go long. Good distance. Header from Lynch. Blacktown free kick. Now, well, Santa Rosa is going to go into the notebook for what I think they refer to as delaying the restart. There's no subtlety about what we're going to see from Caden Henderson. It's going to go into the mixer. Here we go. A couple of flicks from Blacktown. Cleared by Takagi. Slammed into Santa Rosa, who now presses, but Kresnar gets there first. And McKinley exchanging passes with Nick O'Brien, but SD Raiders don't mind this. Almost 2 minutes of time added on have been played. Whatever's going to happen for the hosts has to be now. Sabatu, another wonderful challenge. O'Brien down the line towards Malia. Sabatu with the header. Leder will prevent the corner. Now Anderson might have an option to his right. And now Henderson. My apologies. Good starting position. There's the sweeper keeper. Hannigan booms it and hits the roof of the grandstand. By the way, shout out to Amelia Feeney of the Sydney University women's team, the only player I've seen get the ball onto the roof of the Sydney Uni grandstand. That was in a cup game as well. Anyway, back to this one. Once again, into the blender. Major will retrieve it, looking for an option. Choi. Now, dug in. Lynch is attacking it. Out to Malia, and Malia hits the side netting. Now, Vergara once again No, not even a suggestion of playing it out from the back. Long goal kick. Can Anderson get to it? No, because of the foot in from Ben Berry. Now, Ben Berry's got to hurry again. SC Raiders, of course, they've held on defensively in their own box when they've had to, but as the ball comes in, they're positioning. SC Raiders, they've still managed to press high and not just let the Blacktown defence play it out from the back. See, there's an example from Riley Cox-Barlow, followed by, well, not often you see the safety first clearance on halfway, but needs must, as we're into the 5th minute of time added on. McKinley. I think people are preparing for the direct ball. There it goes. Now Matthew Lee digs it out, but only as far as McKinley. Takagi, so at least slowed it down. But here's Fernandez. Now Danny Choi, the cross in. Flicked on, and Blacktown get a couple of touches. Malia. No penalty. Sabatu clears. Anderson might have got the better of Adam Berry here if they could stay on side. Offside against Oliver Belnich. The predictable shouts from anyone with an SD Raiders persuasion. Here's Henderson, aiming for a tall teammate. And Cox-Barlow. I say they might be kicking. Things might need calming down. Jake Rose is across to settle things down on the far side of the field. There we go. Time for some Rory Delap-ish action. Hannigan with the foot in there. The whistles to the mouth, and SD Raiders have made history for the first time. They will be in the Australia Cup round of 32. They've defeated 3 NPL men's New South Wales teams. They've earned 3 top-tier scalps. There's a pitch invasion, and SD Raiders can look forward to possibly facing interstate opposition, a team from another NPL comp, possibly even an A-League team, but they've done it. The Raiders have defeated Blacktown by 2-1. And they're not the only League One men's team who will join this year's Australia Cup round of 32, because well done to Northern Tigers. 2 out of the 4 Football New South Wales representatives will be from the New South Wales second tier. You absolutely love to see that. It was Noah Kianese who opened the scoring for the Raiders in the 11th minute with his 7th goal of the season. Jack O'Brien equalised for Blacktown on 23 minutes. But Mihail Marcic scored what would prove to be the winner 10 minutes after the restart, 10 minutes into the second half, with a lovely strike assisted by Cooper Hannigan, who was excellent on the night. But all of the SD Raiders players out there can be proud of what they've achieved and proud of their part in history. And I'm delighted and proud to have played my part in bringing it to you and making sure you can watch this from the comfort of your own homes. So that's it, SD Raiders. Well, 2 draw along with Northern Tigers, RPL Leichhardt, and Sydney United 58. Well, that's a matter for later. Cup semi-finals. So thoughts for later. For now, now Gore and Luboya side can bask in what they have achieved here at Landon Stadium tonight. One last bit of self-promotion before I sign off. If you've enjoyed my commentary, well, thanks for your support. But on Saturday, 7th of June at 3 p.m, I'll be at the Arctic Circle for the women's game between Spirit and University of New South Wales. And then on Sunday, 8th of June, I've got the League One women's match of the round at Barton Park between St George FC. Our broadcast partner, Sportscast, and our camera operator for tonight, my Filipino brother, Mangakababayan Chester. We thank you for your support of our YouTube streams and the Hahn Australia Cup qualifiers. Hope to see you soon. We hope you stay warm and dry. And SD Raiders 2.